and I've heard this argument recently, and I wanted to ask your opinions on it. So it's that if Jesus were to come to America in a modern day time, that Republicans wouldn't let him in. And I just wanted to get your opinion on that.
Sure. So, yeah, thank you for that. So the argument is this, is that Jesus was a refugee and therefore we wouldn't let him in. First of all, Jesus actually was not technically a refugee. He was actually going to two parts of the Roman Empire. Just we want to be like hyper-technical and weird Bible nerdy. Egypt was actually under Roman jurisdiction, so he was not technically a refugee. But like, I guess the argument is that because we want to put our own citizens first and have closed borders, we wouldn't let Christ our Lord come across the southern border. I would agree with them. Like, we don't want like Jesus coming across the southern border illegally. And so, little different, right? But what this is fundamentally is an attempt to manipulate us, and it's an attempt to be so theologically sloppy in so many different ways, it's hard to even know where to begin. And what they're implying is that like there's a divine character amongst the tens of millions of people that want to come to this country. So fundamentally, it's an attempt to manipulate us, and it's not a very good argument.
Okay, yes. So I was going to tie it to the fact that there were people that are against Jesus. Not everyone was for him, including Jews and Romans. But basically what I'm trying to say is that there are like, compared to the southern border, because you know it affects us, especially here in Texas, that there are good people coming in. It's not all bad people.
Of course.
And that we don't necessarily like. I know that there's bad people being let in, but there's also good people letting in, and I just think everyone should have an equal opportunity to.
It's fair enough. If you come from the belief that we must let anybody in, and so right now we have let 14 million people. We have no idea who they are over the last 4 years. You don't have to let people into your country. It is a privilege, not a right. And right now we've completely diluted that over the last couple of years. And if and when we have immigration, it should be highly qualified people who love America and want to assimilate to our country. And so, of course, when you let 14 million people in, you're going to allow some people in that are great and some people that are not so great. But think about this in the micro. And what is true in the micro can be true in the macro, and in this case, it's correct. Our country is a home, really, for people in it. We don't have open borders at your home. You don't have open borders in your dorm room. And so I guess I would say, why should our country have open borders if we don't do it on the micro? And I would say this, that it actually, as Christians, it's much harder to love our neighbor if all of a sudden we're allowing in tens of millions of people, we have no idea who they are, and we have actually forgotten the neighbors that were here.